Welcome back to a very fast slice of Britain. Now, unlike some previous weeks, you don't need a car pack for this one because the car we're looking at is right in the Autoshow. And this week, it's also requested by my mechanic. Because today we're going straight back to 2013 with the McLaren P1, boasting over 900 horsepower from stock, 664 foot-pounds of torque, while weighing just a shade under 3,300 pounds. And I've got to say, it looks absolutely stunning. You might remember this as one of the, quote, Great Three, or one of the trio from Top Gear. Of course, that consisting of this thing, the LaFerrari, and the Porsche 918 Spider. But on its own, this thing really does stand out, especially with the wing at the back. The only problem with Horizon is there's not an option to make the wing go up or down from stock. Going to the inside though, it does look pretty cool indeed. We've got just a few buttons here. We've got some, I guess, like some digital dials and gauges in front of us. But now let's go ahead and take a listen to this thing. So this thing certainly does go as good as it looks, but something else I do need to show you very quickly is if we go all the way back over to a little bit of Forza Vista and go ahead and bring up the car very quickly. You can see over here that the wing is actually down in Forza Vista mode, but if you press a button, we can go ahead and bring up the wing. I don't know why we don't have this mechanic outside of Forza Vista, but I really wish we did. In the meantime, going back to the upgrades, we're going straight back to conversions. There's nothing for engine swaps for this thing, which is a bit of a shame, but we do have drivetrain swaps, so we can go ahead and make this thing all-wheel drive, which I think we're definitely going to do a bit later on. In the meantime though, going over to aero and appearance, going to front bumper, sadly the only option we have is just a little Forza splitter there at the front with a weirdly off-place tow hook. They had the option to put it in the centre and they didn't, don't know why. Going over to the back, we have the option to replace the almighty hydraulic wing with, well, whatever this is. You know, one day I think we'll get good Horizon aero, just not in Horizon 5. In the meantime, our mechanic Mac has been very busy throwing together a race tune for us, boasting over 1,000 brake horsepower. So let's go ahead and bring up the share code for that very quickly. There it is. Feel free to go ahead and grab that for yourself. We're going to go ahead, download and install and see what we've got to work with. So with these upgrades, we are now at just a shade over £3,000, a little lighter than before, with 1,113 brake horsepower. And I've been told this thing's been kept rear-wheel drive. So to you and I, we are going to be spinning out every single turn. So those upgrades applied, we're now over in the paint shop. Let's go ahead and bring up advanced. Sadly, there's nothing in there. Going over to manufacturer colours, we've got ourselves just two. I can't lie, that's a bit disappointing. Now, I've been lucky enough to see a few McLarens in my time, but I've got to say, the McLaren P1 is still one that has evaded me for years. Nearly 24 of them, to be exact. Although I have been lucky to see the, quote, brother of this thing, which is, of course, the McLaren 12C, but it would be lovely to see a McLaren P1 in person. So if you happen to own one or know someone who owns me, please contact me on Twitter. And away we go. We have rear-wheel drive, over 1,000 brake horsepower. We are up against several other many cool hypercars. I just realised that sentence makes zero sense. But either way, we are out to win. We've got the McLaren P1. We're up into 5th somehow. We've totally not clattered anybody into a wall. I've got to say that it is trying tricky to keep up because I've been told if this thing goes sideways, it's liable to go all over the place, and that feels like that's true. In the meantime, I've been busy doing a little bit of research into who owns the McLaren P1 and found out that music artist The Weeknd, who had a $1.2 million McLaren P1 in the Starboy music video, is apparently still a personal car of his. And it's a very rare one as well because I looked up how many were made, and apparently in only 2 years that these things were made, they only made 375 of them. And if you want one, you need to have 1.7 million for it, which is this in US dollar and also hideous expensive. In the meantime, one more turn to go, and it looks like it's not quite enough because for the first time in a very long time, we've got a car that's finished in 4th with a minute 44. So that wasn't exactly where I thought this car was going to end up, but maybe it's just too fast for its own good when it comes to racing. In the meantime, let's go ahead now and jump to the backstage vote because it's, I can't lie, it's not great this week. To our right, we have ourselves a Toyota AT37, which in of itself is a rare vehicle in this game, but we also have the MG MG3, which is also horrific. However, going over to the left, we've got some good cars, but they have been in the game before with the Toyota 4Runner and the Wuling Sunshine. Although, to be fair, the Wuling Sunshine you can make do really stupid things, so I think that's going to get my vote. So it's a very tough choice this week, but let me know in the comments. Do you agree with what I chose, or would you go for something different? In the meantime though, while I've been waffling on about good cars and bad cars, Mac has been back with another brand new tune for us. This time we're going drag racing, so let's go ahead and bring up the share code very quickly. There it is, feel free to go ahead and get that for yourself. We're going to go ahead, download and install it. It is called Sad Drag Tune, so I think I know what to expect. But let's give it a go anyway. So with these upgrades, we are now even more powerful at 1,277 brake horsepower and even lighter with £3,000 exactly. So this could get fun. Right, here we are now over at the back of the festival. Let's go ahead and see, do we get a little bit of a wheelie out of this thing? I mean, sort of, kind of, yeah, no, but I mean, it lifts the front tyres off the ground, so I don't know if that counts. Someone in the comments, you're going to have to tell me if that counts or not. And for the first time in a very long time, I've pulled up to the drag strip and there's no Super 7 card in sight. Very interesting indeed. In the meantime though, I've been told there's two ways to launch this thing. I can either just go ahead, drop the clutch and floor it, or if I want to, I can go off of launch control. Today, I'm opting to do neither. We're going flat to the floor from the start. So away we go. Let's go ahead and see what we can get out of this thing. I'm hoping for something good considering this thing's got over 1,200 brake horsepower. This thing rather is really rather heavy at 3,000 pounds. To the camera 207.68 and off the end of the drag strip at 230 and zero braking. You know, I thought active aero would help this time. Apparently I was wrong. So moving on from that terrible mashup of weird ways of wording things and horrible ways to launch a car, now it's our turn to go ahead and have a little bit of fun with this thing. So we're going to go ahead and slap on all-wheel drive and we're going to go ahead and throw as much power in this thing as we possibly can. Of which, as it turns out, really isn't much considering we only have two categories to upgrade and we've already upgraded both of them. You know, Forza, I've got an idea for you. How about the option to go ahead and slap in the center engine? Roll cage? Nah, who needs that? Gearbox? Okay, maybe we might need that. You know, I think that looks alright. In the meantime, with those upgrades installed, now it's time to go ahead and try and tune over 1,200 brake horsepower into a 6-speed gearbox. Oh dear. And while the mechanic side of me works on that, here's a look at this week's Forzathon shop. Starting off with the Bugatti T35, we have ourselves a backstage pass, the Minecraft themed car horn, which sounds a bit like this. Very nice indeed. We also have ourselves the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, which looks like every other Porsche ever made. There you go, I said it, I'm sorry, but I've said it. We also have ourselves the red round shades and the Horizon Super Wheel Spin alongside the regular Horizon Wheel Spin. And now, out to the motorway. I wonder how many Porsche fanatics I just found out with that comment. In the meantime, now let's go ahead and see where are we today. Did we get close to the motorway? Great. The answer is no, I think that might be the furthest we've gotten yet. Is that far? I'm actually having to turn around to drive back. In the meantime though, here we are now over the edge of the motorway. So let's go ahead, get ourselves onto some launch control, and away we go. 1,277 brake horsepower, just a shade over 3,100 pounds. Let's go ahead and see what the McLaren P1 can really do. And while I'm at it, avoid the players and the traffic. Right, any second we should see, there's the edge of the speed zone, 269.98, and we are still going. This thing is still accelerating. It's doing quite a good job as well. So let's go ahead and see what we can do at the downhill and to the speed camera. Right, any second we should hopefully see, there's the camera, 234.44, going downhill now, 276 out of this thing. Do we get any more? Nope, I think changing up a gear might have just killed the chances. So 276 is the fastest. There's the motorway sign, on the brakes we go. Do we get a good stopping distance out of this? The answer is, actually we do. I think that might genuinely be the best bet. Best bet? Best? Yeah. That was close enough. In the meantime, we've got one more thing to do. And if you know these videos, you know exactly what's about to happen. But first, we need some of these. Right, tyres applied, drift zone found. Let's go ahead and chuck this thing in and see what we can get out of this thing. I'm hoping for something good. We are all-wheel drive. We do have a lot of power. This thing is still exceedingly heavy. We did get 38,729 points. And if Mad Mike can drift a McLaren, then so can I. Right, time for round number 2. Let's go ahead and chuck this thing in. 38.7k is the score to beat. Can we do it? I honestly don't know. I don't think so, but we are going to try our best to try and see if we can beat that score anyway. And somehow we did. 39.2k, which out of this thing is honestly pretty impressive. In the meantime though, that's this video on the McLaren P1, a car suggested to me by my very own mechanic Mac. And if you've got a car that you want to see me drive, go ahead and let me know in the comments. The best thing is as well, this is a car from the base game, so you can buy it from the Autoshow, as long as you got 1.3 million credits handy. Although if you happen to have a car voucher, then you can get this thing for pretty much nothing. In the meantime though, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video on the McLaren P1. It is an absolute machine and I love it to pieces. And I'll see you all in the next one. And here's a little question for the comment section. If you had one of these in real life, what colour would you have it in and why? In the meantime though, thank you very much for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. Tech out. See ya. Alright, off to prepare the weekly guide.